They say the dead never speak, but in a house tucked away in the forgotten folds of rural Iowa, the walls sing, and what they whisper is soaked in blood. Villisca, Iowa, June 9th, 1912, a Sunday like any other. Church bells rang through clean blue skies. The Moore family, Josiah, his wife Sarah, their 4 children and 2 overnight guests, sat in the pews, unaware they were hours from death. 8 souls, laughter, smiles, and by morning, silence. Somewhere between midnight and dawn, a killer entered the Moore house. No sound, no signs of forced entry. He was already inside, watching, waiting. One by one, he crept room to room. First, Josiah, his face shattered by the blade, then Sarah, then the children, then the 2 little girls who had come for a sleepover. 8 lives butchered in their beds, and not a single scream was heard. The axe was left behind, as if it too were tired from the carnage. The bodies were discovered the next morning by a neighbor. The crime scene, a vision of hell. Mirrors covered, faces destroyed, curtains drawn on every window, as if the killer wanted the house to forget the sun ever existed. And then he vanished. No one was ever convicted. Suspects came and went, some were accused, others hanged themselves. But the truth? It rots in the floorboards. And now, more than a century later, visitors claim the house remembers. It breathes, it listens, and sometimes it sings. Some say death is the end, but inside the Villisca Axe murder house, it was only the beginning. What was left behind didn't rest. It lingered. It feeds. Investigators arrived with cameras, recorders, and nerves of steel. What they captured would chill the blood. Voices from empty rooms, objects moving by themselves. Temperature drops so severe breath turned to fog in July. One group heard a guttural growl from beneath the stairs. Another scratched. 3 parallel lines, always 3. The house stood quiet, but it remembered. Doors that slammed themselves shut. Footsteps in the attic, where no one ever stayed. Children's laughter echoing when no children were present. Over the years, neighbors stopped looking toward the house. Tourists came and went. Paranormal investigators came to test the whispers. Some got more than they bargained for. One woman fainted on the 2nd floor. She claimed something whispered in her ear. "You are it." But the most terrifying place is the attic. Small, cramped, suffocating. Investigators believe the killer hid there, watching the family, breathing through the dark, planning. Even now, people report pressure on their chest, breath stolen from their lungs when they climb those stairs. EVP recordings have caught whispers. "I'm waiting. I watched them." One even captured a chilling phrase. "I like the little ones. The living come and go. But the dead, they linger." Tour guides report lights turning on and off, even when the house is disconnected from power. One visitor saw a little girl standing at the top of the stairs, only to realize her face was missing. Something evil was born in that house in 1912, and it never left. A family butchered, a town forever cursed. But what if the evil inside the Villisca house wasn't born that night? What if it was invited in? More than 100 years later, we still don't know who did it, but we do know what they did. Brutal, personal, ritualistic. Every mirror in the house covered, curtains drawn, food uneaten on the kitchen table. Like the killer lingered, waited, maybe prayed. The suspects were many. A traveling preacher named George Kelly, who spoke of visions and blood. A jealous rival, a drifter. Some say even a cult. But what if the house was cursed long before the Moore family moved in? Native burial sites, disturbed. Townsfolk spoke of strange lights in the cornfields. Animals that refused to enter the property. In the years after the murders, no one stayed long. Even now, the house rejects the living. Visitors speak of terrifying dreams, of something watching them from the ceiling. Some say they bring something home with them. It starts with whispers, then footsteps, then screams. Some never come back. No crime this brutal should vanish without answers. And yet, the case went cold, as if the house willed it to stay secret. Some believe the killer was a man, others that it was something else. Something that wore a man's skin, something that feeds on fear. The Villisca Axe murder house still stands, waiting, listening. You can go. You can spend the night alone. They say if you lie in the children's room, the walls will start to hum, a tune no living child has ever sung. And when the humming stops, you're no longer alone. If you hear the walls sing, run before the house sings for you.